Hey guys, really appreciate all the support you guys been giving me on YouTube recently. I've been having a ton of fun in Season 9 and hope I can just keep coming out with videos to help you guys learn this game. If you guys want to use code Leon to check out with Focus, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to go to my Nexus link and support me with buying some yemas, I'd greatly appreciate it. Love you guys.
Trelly joining me here on the desk for one final set at the very least. I can't say one final game, at least not yet, Trelly, because this one is going to be a brutal one to say the least. The Wargs coming off of a very long set, and the Tanuki coming off of a very long break. And speaking of a long break, we've been having a long day today, 10.5 hours, 4.375 metric hours. I wanted to throw that one out there, which means we're going to go into picks and bans for game number one as quickly as possible between these two teams.
He looked it up, to be clear. He knows exactly how many metric hours we have been here, and I see a Chernobog ban, and I'm assuming we're going to see an Uller ban as well. Trying to ban out that mid lane, trying to ban out Trip now, going to be a smart call, and hold that. It's actually going to be a Baron.
Baron and Chernobog
to existence. You know what I mean, Myth? It's about creating an atmosphere.
Yep.
For that type of event to occur.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
Whatever you want, right?
You know what? So let's just stop casting at 18 minutes. Surely
they're not going to play without us.
The game's over, right?
What time? It is 8:30, Dave. We're rapidly approaching a 12-hour broadcast.
And I love that we're starting off this cast with that, Myth. That means nothing but great things for the content we're about to output into the atmosphere.
I like that. Yeah, content. We are now content producing. We are no longer sharing analytical knowledge or breaking down the match.
I was never doing that. I was just yelling. And Myth, how do you describe my casting?
It's a lot of whoa, whoa, dude. That's it. Wow, you do a Dave often.
I do every once in a while. I have a little practice with that. All right, let's dive into some of that analytical. What'd you call it? Analytical
analysis. Analytical analysis.
And knowledge spreading, things like that. I want to start in the jungle here, Myth, because we have seen, actually going into this weekend, so much conversation around Hunters being the picks. Now, they are strong, don't get me wrong. Later in the game, Hunters still very, very strong. We've seen a lot of big plays from a lot of junglers so far this weekend, and we're still seeing these hyper carry style picks locked in.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a bit more action from Sarpei in particular. This Nemesis gonna have a much easier time getting involved, clearly, as Bakasura is struggling to even approach these waves. Now he's ticked over to level 2, Sada Dragon is gonna start up the hyper farm. That's all this Bakasura is for. Pick up that Golden Blade, start clearing out these jungle camps. Every camp you kill, gonna give you a little bit more attack speed, a little bit more movement speed, and that's generally what makes Bakasura so quick.
I already did one.
Nearly falls down, and we get a signature patented woe.
We get one Dave Shriek in the first minute and a half of this game. Now, if the pace continues the way that it has, I don't know if we'll be getting many more Dave Shrieks throughout the next couple of minutes. Say again?
Sada Dragon's jump is just now coming back up. Surprised Angry doesn't commit a little bit more for that fight.
That's a full HP Tiamat.
Already down. Yeah, I mean, get in there, get involved, go auto attack that guy.
Nah, we don't do that around here.
No. Not for the first 15. Surely not.
You and Blazy had a pretty lengthy one earlier on today.
Yeah, 3 of them.
You guys, I meant lengthy early game. You guys got to kick back and just chat about Smite.
We did.
For a little while, and just the fact that Smite was happening on the screen and not a whole lot else. And I will say I was intrigued. I was talking to Ro about this on the desk a little bit. With one, I was genuinely wondering how the clashing of the styles was going to look this weekend with what I thought would be high-octane North American style of SEC and slower, a little bit lower octane. You're buying the unleaded petroleum EU style Smite.
I really like that.
I appreciate it. But it really feels like I don't even know if it's the EU style at this point. It's just the style of Smite. Blue buff invade, rarely going to be won up against a Bakasura. Link away from Sada Dragon as well as a knock-up onto Snatty. Sarpei gets the slow, but the bolt form from Snatty might just be enough. In fact, it is. But it feels like not only EU versus North American style, Myth, it's just been the style of the weekend where these games have slowed down.
Yeah, the growing pains of figuring out where you can allocate that aggression in the early game, especially with the wide sweeping changes of 9-5, probably affecting North America a little bit more so, as you said, Europe very much accustomed to the pacing that's been established
this week.
Do you think that changes
with SPL teams on Sunday as well as into next week?
I think SPL versus SCC probably a little bit quicker. SPL versus SPL I think has potential to be even longer.
Even longer.
It's so hard. These SPL teams, they don't make mistakes. And
Right.
in these siege scenarios, sometimes it takes a mistake to crack the base. And, well, if that's not happening, they might just go a little long.
Yeah, that's true. You have to hope there's an opening shown by the opposing squad. Have seen a little bit of poking and prodding early on in game number 1 here between the Wargs and the Tanuki, a matchup that we already saw earlier on today. I expect a highly competitive set here. It's always going to be fun to watch the backs and forth of these teams in a best of 3, the way the drafts adapt, things like that throughout the course of a best of 3. Have seen a lot of these 2v2s in mid between junglers and mids in the first couple of ways, but Leon back on this Sylvanas will make a rotation from the duo lane, a pick that, if I'm remembering correctly, he played a little bit of in mid in the SEC at one point. Still liking it, though, over in support.
Yeah, and it fits his style. You can be that initiator. You can kind of play that flex style of, okay, I'll sit in the back line. I'll heal my boys up. I'll be that peel guy. So I think having that adaptability is really why Leon goes towards this pick. And generally, he's the type of guy who wants to be able to flex his mechanical prowess. And, well, Sylvanas has one of the hardest to hit abilities in the game. So you better believe Leon is locking him in consistently. Sarpei lines up against Sada Dragon. Seems like this Bakasura wants to invade yet another blue buff.
Yeah, why not? Won the last one pretty cleanly. Ultimate down from Sarpei, ultimate down from Sada Dragon. Blue buff confirmed. Nearly a kill on the other end of it as well. The Tanuki able to push back the Niflheim Wargs from their own blue buff, and another successful invade for the red squad.
Yeah, I'm thinking the only way you're stealing anything away from Bakasura is with Hand of the Gods. You need to buy Hog. Otherwise, he's just going to eat it every single time. I like the idea from Sarpei. Like, I'm not out confirming you, but maybe I could do enough damage that you just don't want to stick around on the buff. Sada Dragon says, joke's on you, I'm willing to commit my ultimate, even 5 minutes in, onto a blue buff. And I think that's, again, nature of the god. Bakasura not necessarily one that needs to establish an early kill pace. Instead, all about that farm, and he's already found it.
Tripno able to secure the red buff at least, but under some pressure from Preds, who's been on this Umoja. And talk about Sylvanas on one side. Umoja has, I don't know if, it hasn't skyrocketed up priority, has just always sort of been towards the top. And
yeah, if she skyrockets, like, what is that, 100% appearance rate?
Right, 90% pick ban rate to 100. That's like a massive increase for Umoja. Remains towards the top of pick ban priority here this weekend, for good reason. Umoja, bit of a do-it-all type attitude, River's Rebuke, Riptides, things like that. And that's sustained. We wondered how healing would factor in with these increased health pools, protections, things like that. Thank God we haven't seen this overwhelming presence of healers. We have seen a presence of Sarpei in duo, but an up and over should be enough. Though Sarpei unhappy with how this has ended. Beads out on the slow. Oh, he broke his ankles. There's a Dave Woe in the first 6:23. And Hydrogen will survive. Sarpei at full HP. Has to be happy with no kills.
Yeah, major fumble there from Sarpei. That is a confirmed kill. As long as he is standing properly, all he has to do is not use the second dash.
Right,
that's the only thing he needs to do. He's already positioned himself between Hydrogen and the path to safety. No leap, no beads. But somehow, some way, breaks his ankles and Sarpei drops the kill.
Oh, we're still fighting here on right, though. How about that damage from Sada Dragon? Preds the Riptides away. Shell is out, but no knockup from Angry on the other side.
Peel.
Preds peeled out, though, as Kana has rotated through, and Preds will Riptide out to safety. It has happened again, but for the opposing team this time, the Niflheim Wargs able to get out, but we fight on over in duo.
Leon and Hydrogen lined up against Sarpei and Spudio. Both Sarpei and Spudio completely on the left-hand side as Wu2 dives the tower. Spudio left alone, might just die alone. Double bounce confirms the kill and the first blood for Yomi Tanuki. Phenomenal play, but can it be returned elsewhere? Sada Dragon caught no man's land.
What do we do? This is not the kind of Smite we've been playing here today. The brawly across the map engagements. But the Yomi Tanuki, the ones able to come out ahead of those first initial scraps. 1,000 gold in the lead. And a kill in the back pocket of Hydrogen. Ho Yi. A strong pick later on in the game, as any hunter is right now. Maybe not any. Are there any hunters that are not good late in the game right now, Miff? Are you taking any hunter and thinking they're fine.
Well,
Cupid.
some hunters are just going to be worse in the late
Of course,
game.
but they're all going to be a baseline level of good.
No matter what, they're all auto-attacking. It's just whether or not that hunter is capable of building kin size. Hou-Yi is one of those. Like things like Uhl, late game, probably falling off pretty hard at 9-5.
But Hydrogen with First Blood,
Yeah,
going
and not
into the
playing
Wind
Uhl.
Demon, right? He's not Uhl, so a better start for the Yomi Tanuki. Gonna need more of that from Hydrogen and El Leon, and a great rotation through, finally able to drop a kill. Feels like both teams have had opportunities, but ended up coming up just a bit short. I wonder how much continued pressure we see here in solo.
He's
from
just fighting.
Sada Dragon. Sarpei waiting on the other end, has ultimate, drops it. Sada Dragon holding on to the ult of his own, drops that on the head of Kana. But all the damage going into the Yomi Tanuki, Snatty and Sada Dragon both forced out of the fight. Niflheim Wargs come up empty-handed, unless a blink clap was over the horizon, but Sarpei thinks twice.
Yeah, Sarpei just playing very cautiously in that fight. Has he sticks in there, if he just plays with Kana, Golden Blade auto attacks on the regurgitated minions would have killed both Snatty and Sada Dragon. The AoE damage is all it would have taken, but Sarpei disengages himself. Kana gonna try and survive the re-dive. Sarpei unsuccessful in finishing that one off. Don't get confused, that's Wu 2 on the chase. Actual Snatty very safe.
What's Wu 2?
That's the
Wukong
clone,
2?
yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell you a story about my sister's graduation, but we'll avoid that for a second.
wow.
She went to the College of Worcester, and this is totally unrelated to anything that has to do with the
Is it
game.
going to tie into Wu 2 somehow?
It is. She's class of 2022, and they would always just say Wu 22 for their
that's
graduating
good.
class, and that's what that made me think of. So congrats, Liz, on graduating. It is the final judgment charge, but put back into the back pocket. Preds wanders on away. So there has been continued presence from the Tanuki over here on the right side of the map, and that's kept Kana a bit delayed, able to go back and pick up this blue buff just fine. Stone of Gaia plus King Arthur myth, something that we saw plenty of a few updates ago.
A few years ago, it feels like.
Right? Hasn't been recent, but maybe still has its place in the game. Stun and ult down onto Snatty, but he will gallop away beneath the tier 1 tower. Sada Dragon vomits on Kana, and Snatty from range able to snag a kill.
Solo lane seems to be a misnomer, as it's been a 2v2 almost the entirety of this game, but one team benefiting much more so, and it's the squad that's picked up more blue buffs. Sada Dragon now 2 levels up on his opposition. Snatty got 1 level onto Kana. I think Niflheim Wargs, if they want to keep fighting, probably shouldn't be around that solo. Sun Wukong already incredibly difficult to kill, with Soul Eater even more difficult. Put your aggression somewhere else. Sarpei would have a much easier time trying to shut down Hydrogen, or catching out El Leon in the jungle, or maybe stopping Tripno before he's allowed to full stack his build. Charon's coin in the first slot, he's going to be scaling pretty quickly.
Sada Dragon finishes up the Golden Blade into the hastened Katana, and so the Bakasura will be an extra level of obnoxious here over the next couple of minutes. Actually very surprising that there's only been 1 kill picked up over on the right side of the map. Feels like that's where 90% of our fighting has been happening. But remember the other kill earlier on, Hydrogen and El Leon, able to grab one onto Spudio. Blue buff looked at by Snatty, but a rare casual blue buff pickup for Kana will help this King Arthur cauterize some of those wounds. I think luckily for Spudio, things have slowed down a bit over here on the left side of the map. El Leon starting to rotate his way out. And we've finally reached that point, Myth. I think we've been lucky that a couple kills have dropped in the first few minutes, but like too early for the Gold Fury, maybe too early for the Pyromancer, and you kind of stabilize for a couple minutes.
Yeah, but I think Pyromancer is just going to replace the Gold Fury of old.
That's the early objective.
Yeah, we're no longer is it, okay, 10 minutes in, we found a pick, let's go to Gold, because Gold Fury is just so much stronger in 9-5 that Pyromancer is a lower commitment that's got similar levels of reward, and you get to play around your soul laners, who are generally feeling pretty decent at this portion of the game. Feels like the Niflheim Wargs and the Yomi Tanuki are just fine to leave the duo lane to itself. These ADCs are having fun.
Preds pulled from range by El Leon as a Trebuchet will not go through the Riptide. I was hoping that there would be a
Dude, imagine.
just be flung through the Riptide. So I paused for a second. Didn't end up happening. Hydrogen receiving a gank. Sarpei blinks through it. No chance for Hydrogen, and an answer back for the Niflheim Wargs, but the Tanuki have an answer to an answer, and it's on the Pyromancer.
Hydrogen holds on to both of his relics, so even in getting ganked out, Sarpei feels just fine in this fight. but that does open up the door on the left-hand side of the map. Yomi Tanuki may have taken the Pyro, but that age-old answer still remains. Niflheim Wargs find the kill in the duo, take the Gold Fury. That said, taking a peek at the charts, not many things have changed. It's still relatively even.
Yeah, not much. 500 gold, 1,000 or so experience. Mike just brought us water. Do you think that's him looking out for us, or do our voices sound bad? And so he brought. What do you think it is?
Well, I'm thinking even if my voice is raw right now, it's like morning voice. That's like a +2 to your charisma stat.
Oh, it's cold.
Yeah, so are you all right?
Really
I almost
cool. I mean-
Heimlicked you. I really almost did.
Choking on water?
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna help, but I was ready.
That would have been horrible. We thought our voices
would've been really
sounded
bad
It would have been horrible. Yeah, literally the air coming out of my mouth would have been just horrific. So I'm glad you didn't do that. I'll assume it's that Mike was just looking out for us, and we sound silky smooth as always here on the mic.
Surely.
Couldn't be anything else. The Tanuki do lose the Gold Fury, but again, pick up that Pyromancer, keep the game a bit stabilized where we're at. Sarpei going for a build that was reserved for Hunters a couple of years ago, minus the Golden Blade, of course, but the Icavale start was so popular for a little while, and Sarpei, maybe with some of that scrapping that's been going on, feels like it's a value item.
Yeah, Icavale had fallen off pretty significantly as nerfs had rolled through and kind of removed it from the ADC pool, but looking at what Sarpei is lined up against, Icavale will find value not only against Sada Dragon, but Hydrogen as well. Will struggle in those 1v1s, and Nemesis likes her matchup against both.
Ultimate down onto Sada Dragon, but the Bakasura not able to return as much damage. Sarpei, dash 1 or 2 down, unsure. Looks like that was the second charge of it, and Sada Dragon won't be able to limp away as Preds deals the literal last inch of damage, and the kills now back to even. That was another attempted blue buff pressure from the Tanuki, this time read well.
This time, though, Sada Dragon loses his life as well, so Sarpei, who was 2 levels down just a moment ago, has evened that up. You strip away the beads and the blink from Sada Dragon, so his efficacy and aggression has taken a major hit, which likely means Kana's going to get at least 1 more blue buff in the next 5 minutes. I believe he's got 4 throughout the duration of this match. But now the gold is starting to slip in favor of the Order side, and I think that was the team composition that I'm favoring come late game between Sarpei's matchup into a Bakasura. No way Bakasura legitimately wins that 1v1 in the late. He's got no way to deal with Nemesis's shield. You really got to evaluate how strong Tiamat is in this split push style of meta. I'm thinking if the dances around Fire Giant are going to go as long as previous sets, spawning up some Scorpions on the opposite side of the map might be one way to tip the scales in your favor. So I like Angry's odds in these late game team fights as well. But as always, and it's something I wasn't expecting to say, it feels like Soul Laners have been dictating these late game team fights in every single set so far. I know the memes, Warriors aren't so good anymore. It feels like we're not as tanky as we once were. We can't find the kills.
They had a really bad year last year. They weren't able to play on LAN together, but
yeah.
But now the
Warriors
Warriors
shut up.
The
dude.
Warriors have been able to get together. They finished 3rd in Phase 1.
That's pretty cool. We'll see them later.
We will see him. Not today, unfortunately.
No.
The silky smooth locks of Neilma can
Wait for another day.
Make any heart beat. Not even another day. We like a week.
Yeah, like another week probably. That's like 2 days. It's Friday.
Oh, and I don't even get to see him. But might not see Spudio much longer. But he will get out.
God.
From the 3-man rotation, Hydrogen can go up and over here, but the tower blocking the auto attacks. Ultimate away. Eleon gets the root and has the damage. Gotta finish off that kill. On the flip side, though, Snatty up into the somersault cloud and then ulted by Kana in exchange. Beads used, and the Tanuki will keep all 5 members on the map.
Yeah, Sarpei seems to refuse to play anywhere than with his boy Kana on the right-hand side. Preds now left alone to his devices on the left, trying to defend this Tier 1 tower. And Tier 1 tower pushes have gone up in value, in my mind. Not the gold you receive, not the experience you receive, but just the ability to strip that away from the map, considering how much more powerful towers are in 9-5, means that if the Niflheim Wargs were there in numbers, it's difficult to siege even at the 25 or so minute mark when you're trying to siege with Fire Giant, with kills. So might as well clear it out now. And if you are able to pick up a Fuego Grande a little bit later on, Tier 2's a little bit easier. I took Spanish 101.
Is that how? Yeah, I suppose that is. It's literally Fire Giant.
Yeah.
No, Grande is just big.
Okay, man. Fuego Gigante. What do you want from me?
Yes, that's it.
I made that up. That could have been just in very poor taste.
No, I actually think you're right.
Nice.
I took AP Spanish. I should know that.
You should.
But I've been so many years out of use. One of my favorite stories is a group of friends and I went to visit Spain, and I was the only one there who was like in Spanish in the time at high school. And I was like, yeah, I totally got this, guys. I can order us some food. And like everyone got the wrong food brought out to them. I was like, don't worry, I can do this. And they didn't rely on me for anything else. But we have seen a whole lot of this, haven't we, Miff? Sarpei ulting Sada Dragon. Beads used, but does not matter. Sada Dragon will escape within an inch of his life. And that's a great microscope moment at something you hinted to earlier, like just not winning that 1v1. That is a handedly big. That's totally not the right way to use that. A large win for the Nemesis.
Easily.
Easily. For free. A grande win for the Nemesis. And so, and left alone in a 1v1 later on in the game, Sada Dragon's really got to pick and choose those fights.
He has. I mean, there's really no way Bakasura takes the 1v1. If he turns at any point to sync autos back into Sarpei, Sarpei presses 3 and legitimately heals and reflects more damage. Even Regurgitate, we saw it there. One auto attack cleared out every single minion that guy could spit up. Sada Dragon, he's not going to pick his fights with Sarpei. He's going to pick his fights with somebody else, anybody else.
Yeah, he is picking to not fight. And that's his active choice, is not engage in a 1v1. That said, the rest of the game dead even here as we approach the 20-minute mark. Just how both of these teams would like it, give or take.
I think they'd like to have a lead, both of them.
Well, then get a lead. build up a lead, why don't you?
Yeah, stop sitting on your hands here and get out there and get something done.
Your haunches, sitting on the laurels. What was
something?
What was Little Miss Muffet sitting on?
Whom?
Little Miss Muffet.
Whomstest?
In the nursery rhyme, she sat on her tuffet eating curds and whey.
I've never heard that, and that's the cultural gap between us.
I'm about to cry. You never heard that one?
What do you? Yeah, I had like the Itsy Bitsy Spider growing up.
That is the same vein of nursery rhymes.
Yeah, and like Little Bo Peep.
Yeah, you know,
I'm just naming nursery rhymes.
Yeah,
you can't say they're in the same vein.
Little Miss Muffet, Little Bo Peep, Itsy Bitsy Spider, all the same. The fact that you've missed one is a failure because they're all from
Humpty
the same.
Dumpty, the London Bridge,
the Herculean Hoops.
The Herculean Hoops. You know what that stands for?
I don't. Hydrogen knows what Ultimate stands for, and it means I gotta run away. The Ultimate drops onto Sarpei, Beads, and A gets used, but Leon looking for the root won't grab it, but will he grab a member of the Niflheim Wargs? No, Spudio able to buy Frost away. And so the Tanuki not shying away from answers, but it's really been Sarpei dropping the ult, looking for the picks, and at least forcing some relics.
Yeah, it just feels like that nobody's got the great answer to this Nemesis right now. As long as Leon is around, he can deal with the shield with the ultimate, and he can potentially set up for a kill. But if Leon is not in the fight, Sarpei can essentially play however he wants. That's the kryptonite. If you're a Yomi Tanuki fan and you're worried about the rampage Sarpei has been on for the last 21 minutes, put your hands in the air and pray that Leon is nearby to peel out. And that's exactly what happens there. Hydrogen uses both relics, and Sarpei thinking to himself, all right, free smoke. Leon turns the corner, Sarpei leaves.
Decent little stun on Dakana here, but not quite enough damage just yet. That is a pretty tanky King Arthur a few items into this build. Now Spectral Armor seemingly right on time for Kana because Hydrogen, who was just mitigated, Wind Demon, Silver Branch, and Deathbringer, all will just ping off of that Spectral Armor, and Kana continues to just walk forward and will spin his way out just fine. In the meantime, Sarpei 1v1ing a tower on left, and he will win that one. So a little extra gold filters its way back to the Wargs.
Yeah, Sarpei is just making things happen everywhere, but that's a good concentrated team effort. The Niflheim Wargs generate a scenario where Sarpei can go to split push by grouping up his 4 and pressuring that mid-tier 1 tower. Yomi Tanuki forced to respond, group up, and, well, they're not there to defend the tier 1. That's a high-value pickup for the Niflheim Wargs. That said, neutral objectives have respawned. Pyromancer and Primal Fury both up. It's a little bit harder to kill Primal Fury. Pyromancer probably the option both teams are looking for. Primal would pay you a little bit more, though, considering Fire Giant is very quickly becoming appetizing. Spudio and Sarpei team up. They'll burn this pretty quick.
Primal Fury will be melted through by the Wargs with no answer from the Yomi Tanuki. Was a Pyromancer up on right, but there will be no objective answer either for the Tanuki. I do want to make a quick callback. Production has helped us out here. A tuffet is a tuft or clump of something, i.e. a tuffet of grass. So that Little Miss Muffet was just like sitting on a clump of dirt or something like that.
That poor lady.
But she was eating her curds and whey, so she was just fine. And we all
No, that's peasant food, my guy.
I eat like 6 scoops of whey a day.
Yeah, you're like a gym bro. I don't think Miss Muppet was.
It's Muffet.
Oh, my bad.
Well, curds and whey is a solid gym food, you know? She was getting after it. She was sitting on her tuffet, resting between sets of bench.
350-pound PR, no problem. Kana, though, in a little bit of trouble, has a problem himself. We'll have to walk away.
Yeah, you're right. I got to recenter here.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
game one
fire
of this
giant
set.
dance.
There's a fire giant dance happening. Well, Snotty didn't get the message. Snotty's on the FG, but the rest of the Tanuki on the Pyro. Sarpei on a gank way around the backside of the Tanuki here. As an ultimate from Spudio connects, Sarpei can find the backline with ease, but looks like the Tanuki know where he's at. Snotty left alone on an island. Somersault Cloud up and left is the only exit. And exit left is exactly what Snotty does. And Sarpei has to blink away. Thought was getting a free gank, but instead now under a bit of threat. So Pyromancer, the answer back from the Tanuki.
Yikes.
River's Rebuke gets nothing.
Yeah, he rebuked all of that wall, and that's essentially all he does with it. Maybe just regenerating some Omi. Tier 1 tower, though, still will fall down. The Niflheim Wargs able to take yet another one. Yomi Tanuki had just used too much in that team fight. Tripno, Dragon, and Snatty forced to use their ultimates, aren't grouped up, and Sarpei does what Sarpei does, and that's push the left-hand side. Tier 1 earlier falls down. Tier 2 dropped to 50%.
Hydrogen grabs a kill onto Angry to blink back through now from Eleon. Gets a pull onto Kana. But again, that's a really tanky King Arthur. Sarpei on left, scrapping out. Will pick up a
1v2.
kill, but then ends up dropping to Snatty on the other side. The Tanuki have picked up a couple of kills in the last 30 seconds or so. Another pull. This time
Wow.
good from Leon. Knock up onto Preds. Is there enough damage, though? There are some body blocks. The Riptide brings Snatty back beneath the Tier 1 tower a bit further than he was hoping for. And the Somersault Cloud out and away. Nothing to scoff at, these Tier 1 towers.
Whoa!
Nearly a picked up kill onto Preds. The Tanuki will grab it and head on back.
Yeah, that shell would have likely not saved his life, but uses the relic regardless. Tripno, not quite on the mark with his own ultimate, but Yomi Tanuki needed that switch around, needed that momentum boost to be able to take out a Tier 1 tower. Now, both Tier 2s in mid and left exposed for both teams means that once Fire Giant does eventually fall down, both teams will have avenues in to go for these higher priority structures. That said, if the fight's going to continue going the way they have, if the lead is going to remain as small as it has, that Fire Giant might be a ways off.
Yep.
Have to evaluate what that dance looks like, though, and I'd argue the Niflheim Wargs should have an advantage insofar as burn. This Nemesis has a pretty decent build for dealing with neutral objectives. Spudio already moving in towards that Deathbringer. Then you've got Angry as that consistent damage. But the Yomi Tanuki are not out of objective fight. They have confirmation, and they've got it in spades. Tripno is uncontested in damage output. Nothing comes with it even in 60% of the damage output of a Thoth ultimate. So Tripno can play a little bit later with it. He can use it a little bit later on and go for the more dedicated confirmation.
60% doing that math on the fly, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that nobody's fact-checking me.
No chance.
Surely not.
Way too much math to be involved in that. When you approach the 26 or so minute mark, the game's effectively dead even. You got to feel comfortable around any of these objectives if you're both of these teams. But that's often when the game will slow down. You don't want to make the mistake that ends the game a bit later on. Snatty, we talked plenty about the tankiness of Kana. Snatty also having a great game on this Sun Wukong, tanky enough in that build as well. Soul Eater for some damage. Unbelievable what just happened.
I checked my watch and spilled my water.
Yeah, Miff's holding his water in his left hand and checked his watch and spilled it all over himself. That is unreal.
Well, surely it dries up by the time this game ends. We've got, like, what, 10 more minutes at
And
least?
it takes like 20 minutes for water to dry, so I think
Yeah, we're good.
you're on a good pace. But the Wargs could speed things up a bit with a fire giant day. I can't believe that. That's like straight out of a comedy.
Man, it's real high-res hours. I'm really turning into Three Stooges right now.
And you were checking what hour it was exactly. You
Yeah, I
spilled water
had
all
to
over
know.
yourself. Yeah, unfortunate. The Wargs, though, don't start up the fire giant over on right. There's a Fury starting up on left, a much easier objective to look for. at 27 or so minutes with the game as close as it is, much less risky, willing to give up a little bit more for an FG, but the Primal Fury now pulled. Do the Tanuki answer? They gotta go quickly if they want to. Primal Fury is absolutely destroyed by the Wargs. Over in mid though, Kana did not get the disengage message. Is gonna get run down, turns around and accepts his fate from Snatty. The Tanuki lose the Fury, but grab themselves a kill.
A massive commitment from the Tanuki cost them 4 ultimates just to shut down Kana. Does buy them 50 seconds, and Leon holds on to his.
Speeds used by Angry, though, to avoid the knockup. Reds sends the Riptide to his feet and sends himself away. And away goes the Umoja. Don't tell me Mike, bro. I thought he brought you more water. Don't get him more water. You're going to spill it or something like that.
All over Mike's stage.
All over Mike's stage. Yomi Tanuki, I was wondering how the Tanuki would capitalize on the one pick that they were able to get. Long enough death timer, Miff, and strong enough as far as item build goes. Knock down a tier 2 tower. Not an immediate Fire Giant call, though still can double back for it.
I think so. They're still incredibly healthy. Those ultimates are coming back up. And looking at the relic usage from Yomi Tanuki, they are still powerful. The only relic loss is El Leon's Blink. So if the Yomi Tanuki can force the Niflheim Wargs to face check this objective now, as Kana has just respawned, it's still a 5 versus 4. Pyromancer dropped low, is taken by the Tanuki. Niflheim Wargs will not take that bait and instead play it cautiously. Now the Tanuki find themselves in a very difficult situation of, all right, we just took a lot of towers, we took another objective, we want to head back to base, but if we do, maybe the Wargs are just pulling the Fire Giant. The Wargs make that an easier question by going back to base themselves. Tanuki spot that out and realize they've got an opportunity to spend up their gold. That said, not a very large gold deficit, about 1,000 separating these two squads 30 minutes in. That's just wards. Maybe like an upgraded relic.
And that's just the way the games have been going here this weekend, Miff. Not much separating these teams around that 30-minute mark. Although, no, that's a lie. We've seen
last game was like a 16,000 gold diff.
And regardless, we're still kind of cresting this 29, 30-minute mark or so. A napkin plus more water from Mike.
Stop reporting on what I'm doing over here.
I have to. And I can only hope that I'm doing a good enough job of describing it that a fraction of the...
This water is so full. He trusts me too much.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And you put it right back in the hand that your watch is on. That is a bold...
I'm left-hand dominant.
And so am I. But when we hear a burst of static and no more words from Miff, just know that he's dumped water all over himself again. So many of the first Fire Giants we've seen this weekend have just been enhanced with the pacing of some of these games. Leon wants to get the fighting started, and how about an engage on Angry?
Still
who's
alive.
Forced to use the Aegis and won't survive for much longer on the other end. The Tanuki have already found 2 picks. Snatty unable to participate in this fight, and the health bars just fine for the Yomi Tanuki. It got solo, support, and ADC if you're the Wargs, and you're going to have to contest an FG.
These last couple of team fights have 100% been initiation diff. Luckily for the Niflheim Wargs, that initiation has already been expended. Fire Giant, though, similarly expended, enhanced at that. Yomi Tanuki now 5 strong against 3 of the Niflheim Wargs for the next 30 seconds. This is going to be a quick power play. Yomi Tanuki are not resetting, and instead won't even allow Preds to reset himself. 50% HP and an already 3 versus 5. The Wargs gonna have a very hard time regrouping. Luckily, 2 tier 2 towers still standing, means that the Tanuki are likely only gonna be able to take 1 Phoenix on this siege. Could fall back, go for the tier 2s now, 8 seconds away from the nearest respawn. Instead, though, Tanuki pretty happy with this pacing. Don't wanna flub I would say 99%er, but it feels like all the games have been so back and forth nowadays, it's hard to say.
At some point, who knows? It's like a dream scenario, though. You get the FG, you're able to get a Phoenix, and then you get to go back, spend up some gold, and... Wait, can you rotate? Show us your knee.
No. Just no.
All right, there's water on his knee. He's unhappy with doing so. Niff and I are doing just fine here, don't you worry. But now...
Where is this camera on? Oh, it's cam 2. Okay.
It's a camera face. When did we detracted from camera face?
We literally held a vote, man. It's Camia. Don't laugh at the camera's name. It's right there. We had a vote.
Nah,
Chat chose that.
I'm holding out. Chat, you're wrong.
Oh my God.
You're wrong, Chat. That's just unacceptable. The Tanuki, as I was saying, able to go back, spend up some of that gold, regroup, already knocked down a Phoenix, and now hit those big item power spikes as they have finally taken over this game. Not 5 minutes ago we were dead even, and suddenly the Tanuki on the precipice of knocking this game over, knocking the Titan of the Wargs over with maybe just one more fight. Still 2 minutes on the buff, but looks like a Phoenix siege, not in the minds of the Tanuki just yet.
Yeah, Tanuki have got strong siege potential, though, as long as Tripno is able to apply his damage. So, instead, they're not going to use it. There's still plenty of time, as you said, 2 minutes left on this enhanced Fire Giant, 1 Tier 2 tower still standing, and a Trebuchet being escorted by Dragon down the center of the map.
What did you just say?
Escorted.
Okay, good.
What did you think I said?
You said escorted.
You're taking me for granite right now, bro.
You are rock solid, bitch. You've been eating your cards and way.
Okay. Just like Mary Popeep.
Oh my god. We have to do at least one more of these, buddy. I don't know. We'll get there. All right, a Trebuchet. Finally, I've been hoping for this. A Trebuchet to make a difference on a Phoenix Siege because, though it will be slow, somebody from the Wargs at some point is going to have to step up and have something to say to this Trebuchet, but not dealing as much damage as I was hoping it would to this Phoenix.
Well,
Come on,
let's
chunk it.
That's
Over time, yes, but angry from a range can poke it out. All right, that was less impactful than I was hoping for. Did make the Wargs think twice, but a lot of damage dealt to this left side Phoenix as there was an uncontested push just a moment ago. These are the minion waves that you're kind of waiting for, though, if you're the Tanuki.
Good God, man.
Though we haven't seen this in a little while. Sarpei getting the better of the 1v1. Dragon's going to have to rejoin the rest of his team.
He will, and rejoin or retreat to. I suppose it's all in the diction this time. Dragon just on the retreat. That said, on the left side of the map, Snatty has taken a lot of damage. Still has the ultimate available.
Snatty up into the somersault. Cloud River's Rebuke used over in mid as well. 3 ultimates down from the Niflheim Wargs. Spudio still has his ultimate as a few Fire Onium waves walk their way into the Titan. Oh, that's massive damage from the Niflheim Wargs onto the backline of the Yomi Tanuki. If there is a time, it is now. Vakana won't be able to punch the clock. Hydrogen sets him down. Sarpei into the backline, though, has added some damage. Not enough just yet. Snatty able to disengage from Spudio for the time being. A stun, a pull, a root, all of it sends Preds to the grave as Hydrogen's got a double. Hunter's feeling just fine at 35 minutes.
The carries of the Niflheim Wargs still draw breath healthily. 100% HP on the 2 remaining. It takes about 20 seconds to walk from fountain to fountain, so the Yomi Tanuki, even if they do reset and walk all the way across, I mean, that's still 10 seconds left with Kana dead. But with no Fire Giant barreling back towards the earth in about 40 seconds, I think it's more likely that we see ourselves to one more Fire Giant dance if the Tanuki take it, and potentially a couple more if the Niflheim Wargs will be able to regroup. That said, the Wargs from the precipice are able to maintain all of their birds, if only barely, right and center. About 1 or 2 auto attacks from falling away. Left side has regenerated as much as it will. The Niflheim Wargs on the respawn, I think, have got the opportunity to put up a defense as long as they can slow down Yomi Tanuki. They need to be able to make sure they survive.
Spudio, oh my goodness, what is that damage? Final Judgment. Chunks down angry for half of his HP, and that's with 5 seconds left on the Fire Giant respawn. Or 0 seconds left on the Fire Giant respawn. The Yomi Tanuki able to chunk down the carries of the Wargs, but it's not an immediate FG pull. Kana was looking very tanky earlier on. Now taking a little bit more chunk damage than I think the King Arthur had been expecting over the last couple of minutes. Enhanced Fire Giant, of course, at 36 minutes. Pulled now by the Yomi Tanuki, and my goodness, it is getting shredded. Preds walks forward, and the Wargs will not steal it away. The Yomi Tanuki confirm the EFG.
See ya.
Put an ultimate down from Sarpei. Will snag a first kill. The second, though, returned on Angry. River's Rebuke is huge, and suddenly the Niflheim Wargs have some life in this game. Sarpei claps Leon into the grave, and the Wargs lose the FG, but they find 3 kills.
Niflheim Wargs 4 strong, should be able to take down at least 1 tier 2 tower, will not collect the minion wave first, so they will be contending with backdoor protection. Yomi Tanuki, on the other hand, will not. Snatty, if left alone, could take down this Phoenix. He's going for it. I'm not sure that Preds could stop him.
Are their backs being channeled? Yes.
He's got it.
Dragon is the one backing. The rest of the Niflheim Wargs headed to the base of the Yomi Tanuki. There's always the threat of a play like that. Remember, Sarpei is here, doesn't have ultimate. Dragon also does not have ultimate. And so it looks like Phoenix for the Tanuki is the only Phoenix that's going to go down. And the Niflheim Wargs will have to go back and reset.
I love that play from Snatty. Just keeps the Niflheim Wargs guessing on where they're allowed to aggress. If Snatty just resets to base, it's a 2 versus 3 on the right side Phoenix. But in going for mid Phoenix, not only does he take the structure, but he forces them to continually guess. I love it. It's just clean performance, just a clean decision-making process. I would love to know who makes that shot call. Gotta assume it's just Snatty himself. Yomi Tanuki still nursing a pretty large gold lead. Doesn't matter, 38 minutes in, outside of finishing up some of these last couple relics, maybe looking towards some potions of power, some elixirs as well. Ooh. That said, the Niflheim Wargs similarly are very strong and have got the majority of their relics fully upgraded.
Ooh. Is this how the game ends, with a initiation?
No.
No, we're going to sit on our tuffets for another couple of minutes until the Fire Giant respawns, you'd think. Snatty and Sada Dragon still have it. Fire minions pushing down mid. I don't know. I mean, if you're the Tanuki, you've got Enhanced Fire Giant on 2. Are you making an effort for a Phoenix here over the next couple of minutes, or are you fine kind of resting and regrouping, hoping to get it on all 5?
Because of who the Enhanced Fire Giant is on, I think the play I would call in this situation is have Yomi Tanuki 4-stack, Sada Dragon, Tripno, Eleon, and Hydrogen, likely on the left side of the map, and then you can have Snatty act as Soul Split push. He doesn't have to worry about the 1v1 against Sarpei very much, and if he's left alone, we've seen how quickly Snatty can deal damage to these Phoenixes. With Enhanced Fire Giant, he doesn't have to worry about those backdoor protections. Instead, though, seems to be a soft 5-on-5 engagement. Snatty, Sada Dragon trying to figure out exactly where they want to put their pressure. I don't love the Yomi Tanuki's odd in a true 5-on-5 against a Phoenix with that unofficial 6-man.
Whoa, Sada Dragon taking the 1v1, but Sarpei coming up a bit short. Both junglers send their ultimates down. Remember, Sada Dragon has that Enhanced Fire Giant buff. He'll be able to heal right on up.
Yikes.
Snatty can't get into the somersault cloud and absolutely evaporates under the damage of Angry. And now Kana has an initiation on a Tripno, a crit on to the Thoth, sends another one to the grave. A minute and 55 seconds or so on the respawn timer for the Enhanced Fire Giant, but will we get there? A couple big picks for the Wargs.
Yeah, the Tanuki just getting a little bit trigger happy, a little bit gung-ho around that left side.
That was my
Phoenix.
first Xbox gamer tag, by the way. Trigger happy.
Really? Yeah. That's pretty sick. How old were you?
I was like middle school.
Okay.
With a 3 in the middle of it instead of an E.
Way less cool. Maybe cooler for the time. Niflheim Wargs feeling very cool right now. Great transition, Mifflin. As Snatty and Tripno are both dead for 20 seconds, the Wargs knocking on the base door.
Wow, if you're the Tanuki here, yeah, you got to be careful. If you lose
He's hitting for
anyone
400.
else, yeah, you might just lose the game. So I think giving up the mid lane Phoenix, realizing that the opposing mid lane Phoenix also down, not the worst Phoenix in the world to end up losing. Okay for the Tanuki to give up. You don't love giving it up, but not horrendous going into the Enhanced Fire Giant that just now falls off. Last couple members of the Tanuki, and we'll be respawning in about a minute. Primal Fury up. And Miff, dare I say, we go into the 41-minute Enhanced Fire Giant just about even.
Just about dead even. That said, map state will favor the Niflheim Wargs. Sure, mid-Phoenix down for both, but that's for one more wave maybe. And then those 5 mini waves that have already been pushed up towards the center of the map will favor the Wargs. So if the Wargs, again, could just slow down this Fire Giant siege from Yomi Tanuki, they'll be able to leverage that map pressure. So the Yomi Tanuki find themselves in a position where they want to go for the Fire Giant, and they want to go for it very quickly. The longer this fight takes around this dance, around this neutral objective, the more it's going to favor the Order side.
Yomi Tanuki, though, have been the ones asking a lot of questions here as of late. Niflheim Wargs close by. Oh, the
We are going to get tossed so hard, man.
Yeah,
Let me just fix your shirt a little bit.
Oh God!
There we go.
I stepped on my own cable. That's bad on me. What does that even mean? We're getting fired?
Us?
Yeah, is that what you just said?
What, we're getting tossed?
Terms
of service, yeah.
I thought you meant you and I are getting like
physically thrown. We're the 2 largest people that work at this company.
Yeah, we're throwing ourselves out. Yomi Tanuki have been asking a lot of questions, but the Niflheim Wargs have had answers around these team fights. Sarpei, again, this is something Sarpei tried a little bit ago around an FG, but was unsuccessful, and actually ended up having to blink away the 20 minutes ago that we saw that play happen. With the Primal Fury, the Niflheim Wargs feeling a little bit more comfortable. around the enhanced fire. Giant Kana takes some chunk damage. Sarpé way around to the backside of this fight. Tripno and Hydrogen have both of their actives. Spudio, though, into the Bifrost, taken down by Tripno. There's no more ADC for the Niflheim Wargs. There is no more mid laner, though, for the Yomi Tanuki, as the gank from Sarpé ends up paying off and grouping together from the Yomi Tanuki. Opens up all of the cleave damage for Angry to rip through the health bars of the Yomi Tanuki. But now Angry, the last one alive alongside Pred. Snatty gets the stun. A jump in from Angry and a double kill from the Tiamat.
Leon, the only one still standing up against Angry, who's got a good deal of mana and HP coming back to him with the help of Preds. Fire Mini Wave already knocking on the door of the mid Phoenix. Niflheim Wargs want to go for the end. They've got a whole lot of time to play with. Leon, he hits for 26. I don't know if he can do it.
Get another 26.
Get him, Leon.
He can delay, right? I mean, he can pull out some of the minions.
He's stopping the minion wave.
Titan is pretty tanky.
This is the best he can do.
20 seconds on Tripno. Leon gets a double knockup back to the fountain. He will go, but the Niflheim Wargs not happy. They will continue to walk forward. 10 seconds on Tripno. The fire minions there. No chance. They've got enough damage to end this game, and the Niflheim Wargs will walk away.
Leon takes the only winning line for his team. If that minion wave gets in towards the Titan, there is no recourse. There's nothing this Sylvanas could have done. But in holding these two at the Phoenix line, he buys enough time for the rest of his team to respawn. He buys enough time for the mid Phoenix to respawn. Dave, dare I say it, 44 minutes into this game, we are approaching an enhanced fire giant.
Someone call 911.
From a completely even state. Nothing separating these two teams. Mid Phoenix is both respawned.
Oh my God.
One more fire minion wave to deal with. This could be it. One dead even dance to dictate the game, unless we have another miraculous defense.
Here's the good news for everyone at home who's enjoying this awesome casting by us and the players and everyone who loves this caliber
I like that you
of
gave
Smite.
us credit first.
Yeah, I have to. You know, just a moment ago,
We are carrying.
I was model laying on the ground in front of the camera. We're doing a great job. This is game one, right? So the pressure, of course, on to get yourself ahead in this best of three set.
The most important game.
The pressure can't lay that heavily where you're going to be so tense you make a mistake. You want to take the game into your own hands at this point and get yourself on the front foot here in this best of three set. Sarpé hoping to catch a member of the Tanuki unaware. No, I mean, like the Phoenix maybe, right? You're not killing
he's not killing the Titan.
He's not killing the Titan on his own. Walks back behind the minion wave, so it will be a Phoenix take
he's got it.
by Sarpé. But can the Tanuki find an initiation while the jungler is gone? That's exactly what Sada Dragon is looking for. Mid lane Phoenix taken by Sarpé, and no kills for the Tanuki to have.
And Sarpé now in great position to pincer Yomi Tanuki.
All
All he has to do, he's just got to sheepdog him. He's just got to lead him into his own team. Instead, though, decides to run away. His team's not close by enough that he's going to generate the threat that he can survive that engagement. So instead, the Yomi Tanuki now, with a map state disadvantage, approach the enhanced fire.
And the ebbs and flows of this game for Sarpé. Far ahead, far behind.
That's a good wall.
Now makes a big play happen. Walls up from Preds, walls down. As the Tanuki are able to backpedal away. Big pull in onto Preds, double knockup. As Kana is caught into it as well. And Hydrogen deletes the Yamoja. Sarpé, though, again into the backline, has gotten a kill onto Tripno. No kills have been left unanswered. And we'll get a moment to breathe and sit on our tuffets while we have a pause here. What a time for there to be a pause. Go ahead.
I was going to talk about the game.
Oh, by the way,
I want to do tuffets.
I do want to do tuffets. One more time for the last time. Corrected again that a tuffet is also a low footstool or foot rest or something like that. So that's likely.
You like the positioning of my legs here? It's the
you're hiding the water spill.
Now. Oh, it's been 20 minutes, Dave.
Let's talk. You're right, and it's dry. So let's talk about the state of the game here, Miff, because it's been a lot of initiation and opening kills from the Tanuki. And then Sarpé finding the back line for an answer back.
Yeah, Sarpé is just a precision scalpel in these team fights. Goes in, removes one key target, be it a Phoenix, be it Tripno. This time it's both. Phenomenal plays from the jungler so far. He's been doing just about everything for his team, barring actually just killing the Titan. He might do it. The game could still go on, but this has been wild. That said, I would argue Sarpé should not have been allowed to get away with the play that he just made, considering Precision Scalpel went between 4 members to slaughter
precise,
Tripno.
right? I mean,
he is precise, but surely you're getting caught out on the way back. Once we get back from the pause, we'll see whether or not Leon and the boys can shut down SARPEI.
Yeah, what a time. I think it was Hydrogen who ended up taking the pause just prior to a big team fight, and back in we go.
He's still
Nothing's
alive.
changed. Don't worry, we resume right where we're at, but SARPEI could be caught out here, and he is. Hydrogen with a kill on the SARPEI on the back end of the engagement makes it a 2-for-1.
SARPEI does fall. 70 seconds left on his respawn. So Yomi Tanuki now in a 4 versus 3 can start to look towards this enhanced fire giant. That said, Spudio still incredibly healthy, as is Angry, so they will not make it easy. Snatty shows himself on the map, meaning that the Niflheim Wargs realize that it is a 3v3 around the Pyromancer. Will not step up, do not want to leave it up to risk. And even in the time it's taken me to express my thoughts about that team fight, SARPEI is already halfway, well, yes, but SARPEI is already halfway back on his respawn.
Oh my God, was it 80 seconds?
That's got to be wrong. No way Tripno is still 70 seconds. SARPEI died second.
No, yeah.
He's back soon.
Yeah, surely at some point here quickly, Tripno will be back on the map. A nice ultimate, though. Connecting onto one.
Just a little more.
Gotta be. Come on, there it is. Kana snags one onto Snatty, who's in the grave for 75 or so seconds. We'll have to wait for just a little bit longer for the Tanuki Soul Laner to respawn. Have no fear, Tripno back on the map. That would have been egregious, but the Wargs won't have that opportunity to fight without the opposing team's mid laner for too much longer. And I don't know, I wonder how many more of those types of fights we're going to see, Myth, where you're this late in the game, your team loses someone initially, and you're like, all right, I don't want to lose the entire game, so you back away. Could see a few more of those.
Yeah, and endurance is very quickly going to become the topic of conversation, I'm thinking. Not only did this set start late, but it is going long. 48 minutes in, the enhanced fire giant dance rages onward. Snatty, 30 seconds in the grayscale to just watch and backseat his teammates as he waits. Leon with a phenomenal pull, unfortunately finds Kana, and that guy is tanky.
Enhanced fire giant, though, all this time taken down by the Niflheim Wargs, and Kana avoids death. Sada Dragon now desperately running away. Ultimate used by the Bakasura. Ultimate already used by Tripno, but a knock-up onto SARPEI, who went too far into the back. Means a return kill from the Tanuki. Kana also low on the front line of this fight. Sada Dragon barely clings to life, and a respawn out from Snatty means a slowed down enhanced fire giant push.
Kana.
Unless Leon can speed things back up.
Kana caught out, has the dash available, will use it to create a little bit more separation, I thought.
Who's got a trebuchet? Tanuki Duke.
Yeah, Tanuki's got one, and they ain't using it anytime soon, man. So go ahead and, I suppose, rest on your tufted as you wait.
You went back to it after yelling at me for
I
going back to
didn't
it.
yell at you. I simply
You
expressed...
scolded me.
I didn't, well, yeah, I did.
You're
right.
playing the moral high ground.
Well, of
So when
course.
Hindu yells at us for our style of cast, you
Yes.
can say, I tried.
Yeah, I'm going to point to that exact moment in the cast. I've already clipped it. I've got my people. They'll be in contact with yours.
Yeah, I don't have people, so it's just me. Oni Fury whittled away by the Yomi Tanuki, so that'll buy a little bit of time on this push. Likely just a little bit of time. All right, so we've reached the point in the game. Build's complete. Relics all upgraded. We're talking about
Surely
power
not
pots.
just now, right? Like, they've been done.
No, it happened just now.
Oh my
Support,
God.
no, I'm kidding. For a while now, build's fully completed. Power pots is what we're looking at. Could consider selling off some of these starter items, first tier items, for larger item upgrades a bit later on in the game. At this point, it is all about not getting caught out. Leon learning that the hard way. No knock-up onto Kana, who will waltz right on out after forcing an ult from Leon and Sada Dragon.
Yomi Tanuki able to maintain a little bit of time here. 2 minutes left on the enhanced fire giant play, but only 4 members benefiting from it on the Niflheim Wargs. That said, SARPEI might just not need it. Oh, go ahead.
Do you want to just go an hour at this point? We're so close.
We might as well. First hour-long game of 2022.
I don't think it'll be the last. I think we could be going the distance in a couple of these. Though the Niflheim Wargs, if they have it their way, they'll end this game here in the next couple of minutes. Trebuchet making all the difference.
It's active.
Keeping the fire minions at bay. Keeping the minions at bay. Some good poke damage out from the Yomi Tanuki. SARPEI versus Sada Dragon over in the mid lane. A 1v1 we wondered if we would have to see a lot of throughout the closing moments of this game, and we will have to see it at some point. Fire Giant, just a minute and a half left.
And SARPEI just wins this.
There you go.
Surely, Sada Dragon lines up. Send anybody else. You have 50 50 minutes of data on that.
Could this be the final fight of the game? Mid lane Phoenix now crumbles, but Sarpei is low. The double dash gets the jungler out and away. 2 Phoenixes down, the Yomi Tanuki backpedaling into the Titan room.
A full minute on the enhanced fire giant, only 1 bird still standing. Seems the Niflheim Wargs have taken that personally as they approach the right-hand side. 4 strong are the Yomi Tanuki. And 50 seconds left on Saturday.
Leon gets a big knock-up, and Kana spins away. There's a Riptide out as well. Spadio joined the front line of the fight and is forced to ult away as well. Health bar's low, but Kana receives some sustain, so does Snatty. Now Sarpei going down the mid lane, ushering in a few of the minions into the Titan room. But it looks like the Tanuki have expended what they had on the right side, Phoenix.
All 3 Phoenixes down, still half a minute left on Sada Dragon's respawn.
There we go.
Niflheim Wargs working their way in.
Sada Dragon is going to have to watch from the sidelines as the Titan is sieged, and in 52 minutes, the Wargs will knock down the Titan and take game 1.
What a well, I don't know if you could say convincing in a 52-minute game. That was as back